8. Korean Air Flight 670 Ground Fire Accident. So pages 1.3, Introduction and Flight Overview. On May 5th of 2006, Korean Air Flight 670 experienced a catastrophic ground fire while preparing for departure from Gimhae International Airport in Busan, South Korea. The Airbus A330-300 aircraft was scheduled to fly to Jeju International Airport with 152 passengers and 8 crew members on board. During pre-flight checks, a fuel leak developed in the right engine, leading to a massive fire that quickly engulfed the aircraft. While all occupants evacuated safely, the intense fire completely destroyed the aircraft. This incident represented one of the most serious ground accidents in Korean aviation history and prompted major changes in aircraft maintenance procedures and emergency response protocols. Pages 4-6. Aircraft Specifications and Service History. The accident aircraft was an Airbus A330-322 with registration HL7533, manufactured in 1998. Powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney PW4168 engines, this wide-body jet had accumulated approximately 35,000 flight hours over 8 years of service. Maintenance records showed the aircraft had undergone its last major inspection 2 months prior to the accident. Korean Air had an established maintenance program for its A330 fleet, though investigators would later identify several concerning trends in the airline's engine maintenance practices. The aircraft was configured with 290 seats, but was carrying only 152 passengers on this domestic flight. Pages 7-9. Crew composition and experience. Flight 670 was operated by Captain Kim Jae-hoon, a 48-year-old pilot with 12,000 flight hours, including 3,000 hours on the A330. First Officer Park Min-soo, age 36, had 5,000 total flight hours with 800 hours on type. The cabin crew consisted of 6 experienced flight attendants, led by purser Lee Ji-eun. All crew members had completed recent emergency training and were current on all certifications. The captain had flown the Busan-Jeju route numerous times and was familiar with the aircraft systems. Crew work schedules showed they were well rested and within legal duty time limits. Pages 10-12. Pre-flight preparations and fuel loading. Ground operations began normally at Gimhae Airport on the morning of May 5th. The aircraft had arrived from Seoul earlier that day without incident. Fueling procedures commenced at 8:15 a.m. local time, with the aircraft taking on 15,000 kilograms of jet fuel for the short domestic flight. Maintenance records indicated no fuel system anomalies during previous flights. The first officer conducted the exterior walk-around inspection, while the captain reviewed flight paperwork in the cockpit. Airport weather conditions were excellent with clear skies and light winds, ideal flying conditions that made the subsequent accident even more surprising. View pages 13-15. Engine start sequence and initial signs of trouble. At 9:03 a.m., the crew began starting the right engine following standard procedures. Several passengers and ground crew later reported smelling fuel vapors during this process. The flight data recorder showed abnormal fuel flow readings in the right engine, but these warnings did not immediately alert the cockpit crew. As engine RPM increased, witnesses observed fuel streaming from the right engine area. A maintenance engineer working nearby noticed the leak and attempted to alert ground personnel, but communication delays prevented immediate action. The quantity of spilled fuel created a growing pool beneath the aircraft. Pages 16-18. Fire ignition and rapid escalation. At approximately 9:07 a.m., spilled fuel ignited near the right engine. Investigators later determined the most likely ignition source was hot engine components contacting fuel vapors. The fire spread with astonishing speed, fueled by the continuous leak. Flames quickly reached the wing root area and began compromising the right main fuel tank. In the cockpit, the crew received multiple warning lights, but initially misinterpreted them as minor system faults. By the time they recognized the severity of the situation, flames were already visible through cockpit windows. The captain immediately ordered an evacuation while airport fire crews were alerted. With pages 19-21, Emergency Evacuation Process. Flight attendants initiated evacuation procedures within 30 seconds of the captain's order. All 8 cabin doors were opened and escape slides deployed successfully. Passengers reported generally orderly evacuation despite increasing smoke in the cabin. Airport fire crews arrived within 2 minutes, but found the fire already beyond initial attack capabilities. The intense heat prevented rescue workers from approaching certain areas of the aircraft. Remarkably, all 160 occupants evacuated safely, with only minor injuries reported. The last person left the aircraft at 9:12 a.m., just 5 minutes after the fire began. Pages 22-24. Firefighting efforts and aircraft destruction. Airport firefighters employed foam and water to control the blaze, but the fuel-fed fire resisted initial suppression attempts. The right wing collapsed at 9:18 a.m., followed by complete structural failure of the fuselage at 9:25 a.m. Fire crews finally brought the fire under control at 9:40 a.m., but the aircraft was completely destroyed. Post-fire examination revealed only the tail section remained somewhat intact. The intensity of the fire melted aluminum components and destroyed most evidence that could explain the initial fuel leak cause. Pages 25-27. Investigation findings and technical analysis. The Korean Aviation and Railway Accident Investigation Board led a comprehensive investigation. Key findings included: 1. A fractured fuel feed line in the right engine caused by improper maintenance procedures. 2. Inadequate leak detection systems that failed to alert the crew promptly. 3. Delayed response from ground personnel who noticed but didn't immediately report the leak. 4. Insufficient fire prevention measures during engine start procedures. The investigation also criticized Korean Air's maintenance tracking system, which had missed several opportunities to identify and correct the underlying mechanical issue. For pages 28-30, Safety improvements and industry impact. Following the accident, Korean Air implemented numerous safety enhancements, including upgraded fuel system inspection protocols, improved crew alert systems, and enhanced ground personnel training. Airbus modified A330 fuel line designs to prevent similar failures. Airports worldwide reviewed their aircraft fire response plans, with many installing additional remote fire detection systems. The aviation industry developed new guidelines for fuel leak emergencies during ground operations. While Flight 670 resulted in no fatalities, it served as a wake-up call about the dangers of ground fires and the importance of rigorous maintenance standards. The destroyed aircraft remains one of the most complete hull losses in Korean aviation history.